Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Operate out of your dreams and your vision and not other people's expectation. Having breast cancer wasn't my choice, but the decision to live healthy so that I could stand before you here today, that's choice. You can choose this very moment to change your life from every perspective.
Tracy Randolph was our speaker. She came back because so many people liked her first presentation. I was one of those people that joined her fitness group, and it made me a better leader.
I grew up in a community, but they had limiting beliefs on what a little black girl could do. Everything that you do in this life is a choice. I choose to live healthy. I choose to change my mindset. I choose to be everything that I dreamed of because I choose faith and I choose me. Live healthy, be everything that you can be today. Choose yourself.
Hello, everybody. I was just rocking in the back, that music. I love the music on all of the commercials that we play here. So I'm usually in the background just moving because it just gets me moving. It makes me happy. So listen, everybody, it is time for the Whole Living Show. We are so glad that you came back to join us. And before I came on, I was getting a message here saying that Facebook was not connecting. Well, I can tell you right now that it is because I can see it on my phone. I was like, we are not accepting that. This is going to happen, and it is there. So, to all of my beautiful people out there that are connecting with us on so many different avenues, Facebook, YouTube, and on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Android TV, Apple TV, via the E360 TV network, we thank you for being here for yet another beautiful Wednesday. So I'm just happy to be here, excited for the guest that is here tonight. Well, listen, I wanted to share with you in this beautiful love month, before our love month closes, because this is the last Wednesday for our love month, I wanted to talk to you about where joy hides and where you can find it. Now, listen, that title is not mine. I was actually watching a TED Talk by Ingrid Fattel-Lee, and she was talking about joy. So I'm going to play it for you because I want to have a little discussion about this, because what I believe is we should find joy in every parts of our life, on every day, try to find some joy. And since I was 8 years old, I have been saying I will not let anybody rob me of my joy. It's something that I learned in church. It's something that stuck with me, and I've been saying it since I was 8, and I mean it. I absolutely mean it. So let's get into this. I want to show you some of Ingrid's video. Now, this is 13 minutes long, so I would say, if you want to learn a little bit more about joy, you're going to have to go back and watch the full experience there. However, I am going to give you some pieces of it. So I'm going to go on over here, and we're just going to listen to a little bit. Now, she's setting this up because she was talking about when she finished fashion school. So let's go. Take a listen.
And then one of the professors starts to speak, and he says, "Your work gives me a feeling of joy." Joy? I wanted to be a designer because I wanted to solve real problems. Joy is nice, I guess, but it's kind of light, not substantial. But I was also kind of intrigued because joy is this intangible feeling. And how does that come from the stuff on the table next to me? Mm-hmm. I asked the professors, how do things make us feel joy? How do tangible things make us feel intangible joy?
And I'm going to stop right here for a minute because I want to challenge people to really think about this question and really be able to identify what really brings you joy. What tangible things bring you joy? And even if it's not so tangible, think about what really brings you joy. Not just happiness, everybody. I'm talking about that deep down, that deep-seated gut feeling of joy. Joy and happiness are very different because happiness can be temporary, but joy is eternal. So continue to listen to this for a minute.
They hemmed and hawed and gestured a lot with their hands. They just do, they said. I packed up my things for the summer, but I couldn't stop thinking about this question. And this launched a journey, one that I didn't know at the time would take me 10 years to understand the relationship between the physical world and the mysterious, quixotic emotion we call joy. Mm-hmm. And what I discovered is that not only are they linked, but that the physical world can be a powerful resource to us in creating happier, healthier lives. Mm.
So you heard that, right? Now, she goes on to talk about, let me just go back to that screen, but she goes on to talk about, how you surround yourself with certain things that are going to uplift you and bring you joy. And she even talks about some of the studies that have been done on changes that people make in their environment that brings them joy as well. So I'm going to see if I can fast forward this to, some of the information that she's giving about, surrounding yourself with joy and some things that were done in certain places that allows people to feel joy.
So look at this. What is it about these things that makes them so joyful?
So you can see hot air balloons and puppies and things that are super colorful.
And every day I would come in and try to make sense of it. And then one day something just clicked. I saw all these patterns, round things, pops of bright color, symmetrical shapes, a sense of abundance and multiplicity, a feeling of lightness or elevation. When I saw it this way, I realized that the feeling of joy is mysterious and elusive. We can access it through tangible physical attributes, or what designers call aesthetics, a word that comes from the same root as the Greek word aisthenomai, which means I feel, I sense, I perceive.
I feel, I sense, I perceive. So I'm going to stop sharing now because I really want to leave it there to really get people thinking about this. I feel, I sense, I perceive. And I challenge you to go back and to watch this. Again, it's Ingrid Fattel Lee. But you want to look at some of the things that she further goes on to talk about to identify some spaces where we can incorporate joy in a world where, we're surrounded by things that usually drain us of, the happiness that we feel on a temporary basis, and even sometimes drain us of our joy. And I'll just give you some of an excerpt. She was going into, the fact that in some of the school systems, they started to incorporate color in the classrooms, even outside on the playgrounds. In some businesses, they started to put color on the walls inside the offices, and they noticed changes in people's productivity, changes in their attitude as they came in to work or to school. They noticed that kids' numbers in school was going up, that they were doing better, that they had improved. Same thing for the adults in the workplace. So, think about this and think about how you can incorporate joy in your life, and with these tangible things that you can do to fill your spaces, your environment, your mindset, in order for you to incorporate joy in your life and really feel pure joy. And I'll give you an example. For this season of both shows, Femme Talk and The Whole Living Show, we decided to lighten things up. So my background used to be Black. And now you can see I've incorporated a picture with some sunshine because I absolutely love the sunshine. It brings me joy every time. So wanted to lighten things up because it changes the mood, right? And these are the things that you want to make sure that you're trying to incorporate in your life every single day so that you can bring yourself some joy. It could be people that just bring you joy. It just depends on what that is for you. But I challenge you to think about that and to start to incorporate it. I was in a mindset boot camp with the wonderful coach Ariana Hamilton, and she was talking about putting fulfillment habits into your day with things that give you joy. Now I'm going to identify it for me, just to give you some context there. I love praise and worship. Absolutely love it. So I started to have it stack, and I started to incorporate my praise and worship with my workouts because it gave me joy. Both things gave me joy. So I started to put them together so that I can just double that joy while I'm working out and praise and worshiping. But what I also did is started to incorporate 15 minutes within my day where I'm doing some praise on my own, take a moment away from the busy schedule, right? And, I don't really like the word busy, but just to put this into context, take a moment from the busy schedule to fill my cup of joy up. So again, I'm going to challenge you guys to think about what that is for you, but then also to fill yourself up as well. Make time in your schedule to fill yourself up. So listen, everybody, that is it for the joy today. But we have a beautiful young woman who's going to bring you some more joy as she comes in here. So I want to introduce her. And I told her backstage, I think she is an absolute powerhouse. I met her on the Clubhouse app. And every time I hear her speak in a room on Clubhouse, she definitely commands attention. She commands the stage. And I absolutely love the things that she is doing. So I'm going to give you a little bit of this beautiful woman, and I'll give you her name in a moment. But she is the proud mother of 5 amazing children. And we're going to get into that. The grandmother of 3 and non-biological mother to several others. She is the founder of SLAPTTM. SLAPTTM LLC. And I absolutely love this. And it just begs, what does that mean? I know you're probably all thinking out there, what does that mean? Well, it is an organization built to inject positivity worldwide. And we've had an opportunity to talk about this, so I can't wait to get into this conversation. But at SLAPTTM, we are, she says, starting legacies and progressing those that matter. Oh, I love that. And we're going to talk about what that means for her organization. And while strategically leaving a print, typically transforming mothers. Oh, I like that. All while promoting self-love and passionately treasuring teachable moments. And this is a mom of 5. So, talking about how to treasure those teachable moments. And I'm sure she does that with her beautiful 5. So it's not a coincidence that all these acronyms spell SLAPTTM. She intends to slap the world. I love that, because some people, just like I was talking about joy, right? Sometimes people need a slap to be able to incorporate the things that they need to change in their life. So to be able to slap the world one day at a time, one child at a time, until her organization is known worldwide for giving those who want to take part in rewriting history, you guys, breaking generational curses, or just flat out making a difference, the opportunity. I absolutely love that. So listen, we're not going to delay this. We are going to get into this with this beautiful woman. Her name is Chiquita Lemons. I want everybody out there to give her a virtual round of applause. And we're going to bring her in. Here we go. Hello.
Hello. That was amazing. I love the way you brought me to the stage.
Yes. Gotta do it for the powerhouse that you are, man. And I love that you have your logo in the back of you. And I love that beautiful baby that's standing behind you too. Yes.
One of my mini-me's. Oh, and then you said her, and then here they all come running.
Yes. So this is real life. And listen, she is a mom for real. So this is not, we didn't fake this, right? So you see the babies in the background, and come on in, because we don't mind. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. So listen. Hi. Hello, everybody. Hello, beautiful babies. So I want to get into this.
Okay, so we have, let's say, what's your name? Tell them who you are. Sojay. She's beautiful. 3. Next.
All right.
Royale.
Oh, I could have said that.
Go ahead.
I'm Royale.
All right.
I'm 9 years old, and I love to sing.
I love it. So can we get a little bit of that voice tonight?
Okay.
Okay, I appreciate that. And we have one more.
Yep, Lakina.
My name is Chiquita. I'm 10, and I'm a dancer, and I like to do gymnastics.
And me too.
Yes. So thank you all for joining us. Listen, Mommy is absolutely amazing. So we're going to talk to Mommy about everything that she is doing to change the lives of you 3 and also the lives of others. Absolutely. So I love what SLAP stands for, first of all. So talk to us a little bit about how that came about.
So ironically, it is the last initial of everyone in our family. So the generations to come within my family. So I just took the last name of each group of family members, and it just fell into place. We put all those letters together, and it was like, hey, wait, slap them. All right, we can slap people. But it's a positive slap. It's definitely a wake-up call. Girls, stop. It's a wake-up call that we need in this world. And I mean, forget the color. If we just step away from color for a moment and look at what's going on in the world today, we all can stand to be slapped. I mean, we ain't got to punch you, but we can slap you. It demands attention and actually helps you pay attention. So that's why we ran with that.
And I love that it's even more meaningful than just the words that you came up with for the acronym, but that it's your family.
Yeah, it's my family.
Yeah. And as you change the world, right? As you are changing from the inside, right? The inside of your household, you are also helping to change the outside world with SLAP. But it means so much. So I love that. I absolutely love that. That's your family. So listen, talk about some of the things that you've gone out there and you've done for others and why, this has been so important.
So currently we're working on because we're currently in Massachusetts, me and my tiny crew here. I mean, my family is all over the place, but the plan for this summer is my girls and I will go to the lower sectors where our intention is to treat those that are less, I don't want to call them poor, that don't have as much as we do, and we want to show them we want to provide a helping hand. So we're working on ways to bless them. We want to slap them with something that they need, and that's the intention. And most people want to give toys, and most people want to give things that kids need in life, but not something that will last long. So my intention is to find something educational that we can provide to these individuals and their households. Find out what it is that they lack within the household that's preventing them from going from poverty to millionaire status. I mean, it may take a while, but we want to start putting those pieces together so we can actually help them come out of poverty.
Yeah. So my wheels are going off as you're speaking about this, but I love that you said, it's not just those physical things that they can hold. It's not just clothes. It's not just toys. It's not just those things. I love that because, the saying, right, where you can, sorry, there's a little gnat flying around my house. If you see me swatting, he just wants to get at me right now while I'm here on the show. So listen, but I love that you're saying that because, the way to really change people's lives is to give them the tools, right? Yes. So either you can give a man a fish or teach a man a fish, right? Yes. And it's a big difference. So if you're not just giving stuff and you're giving information that sinks, if you're providing wisdom, right, that sinks in, then it'll help that person change their life for the long term and not temporarily, right? Oh, absolutely. I love that.
Yeah, because
so have you thought about, because my wheels are spinning now that you said that, financial literacy, mindset shifts? Talk about what your program is going to look like.
I'm actually working on a school in the near future. I want the school to be set up different from the standard school system, because I think the school system that we have now teaches children and how to become workers. I want my school to be set up like an entrepreneurship. I want to teach children how to live a life and where they're not working for someone else until they retire to start living. I think that kids should be able to retire, or anybody, including myself, should have been able to retire in my 20s so I could actually live the next 20 years. And so that when I'm getting old, I can actually, I can't do anything, but now I'm 65, 70, and I'm trying to take all these trips. Yes, I could be able-bodied and willing to do it, but do I really have all that energy as I did when I was 20? And I just think we got it all mixed up, in that we shouldn't be working until we're 70 years old. Our work week shouldn't be 5 and 7 days. We should be able to work 3 days and play for 4 days. I think if we get that change going, that we'll have a better success rate of people living longer, and we'll have a better success rate of children finishing school and actually doing something productive in the world.
Yeah, I love that. And it's, as such a time as this, right, is so necessary because
Yes,
the attitude of the world is changing, right? What
absolutely.
we have at our exposure now is changing. So what's available for our kids, this is the right time. And I love that you're doing this with the kids, not that the adults can't come along. However,
Right.
you want to change, you want to leave legacies,
Yes,
right? So you want to change the kids so that they can continue to pass this on so that it becomes, more of a lifestyle going forward
exactly.
for generations to come. Because listen, for some of us that are older, like I know I didn't start entrepreneurship until later on in life, right? I was stuck in the
Right.
cycle. So I didn't
Yes.
really wake up, as you were saying earlier, right? I didn't really wake up until later on in life. So to start with the children, give them the tools now so that they can live out these legacies. I love
Yes.
it. Yes.
I mean,
Yes, yes,
because if
yes.
we think about it, children, their minds are built to absorb it at this age. This is the rightful age to actually inject the changes that we want to see come about.
Yeah.
So if we start when they're that age, by the time they are our age, it will be so many millionaires. I think poverty will just be gone.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah. And I love that too because it's like saying, you know what, everybody has the right to be a millionaire, right?
Yes.
And for what we're learning now, right? It's accessible. It is accessible and it's so much more than possible, right? So I love that you're doing this. I can't wait for your school to come about. And we're gonna have to talk about that because there's some certain pillars that people need to really recognize that they need in their lives to really live successfully. And I'm not talking about the money part of it. I'm talking about everything that comes before the money comes to you, right?
Yes.
Everything is flow. So talk a little bit about the flow that you want these children to have once they become young adults and adults.
Oh, well, so the flow that I'm looking at is I need them to understand. We've heard it all of our times is that you don't put all of your eggs into one basket. And they need to know that what you do is you make money work for you. I mean, there's so many people who got it right, but unfortunately, it's only 10% of the world who's got it right. So that tells you that if only 10% got it right, there's 90% out there that's just lost.
Yeah.
So if we can get an additional 10% to catch on and know that, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to help. If we get more people to help and invest and show you where to put your money, to how help it grow, then I think that we can cure not only a lot of things, it will actually aid in helping find cures for other diseases, because kids will actually spend more time searching for successful things to help us out versus frivolously throwing our money away. I think if you train them up, they know what to do with it and they will help us out tremendously.
Yeah, and to really, really be able to invest in their future from different perspectives. I know that I have a mentor now that is teaching things that, I never got from school, right? On how to really be successful in life. And again, not just from a money perspective, but from a currency perspective, understanding that, health and wellness goes with that, finances goes with that, relationship goes with that, time goes with that, right? Freedom goes with that. So to really be able to understand and the we, I actually, from my coach, Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, who also is the owner of Trajectory, it says problem me, solution we. Right. And I love this t-shirt, and I wanted to wear it tonight because of what you're doing. Right. It just made me think about you. When I put the t-shirt on, it made me think about your organization and what you're focused on doing, changing the we so that it goes, well into the future. So I love everything that you're all about. So I want to talk to you because, again, I know we asked your daughter to sing, but I can remember being in a clubhouse room where she sang so beautifully. And part of me was thinking, wow, just the courage of the young lady that you are raising, right? But then also just thinking about, what you're doing first at home, which is so huge for what you're about to put out in the world. So
Yeah.
talk about why it's so important for you to start right where you are at home with your five.
Well, I think that it's important because I feel like if I can do it within my household, that it's something that can be done. My children are young. I mean, I have a 3-year-old, I have a 9-year-old, and a 10-year-old. They're at the ripe age. I wish I had started when they were all 3, because then it would be a force to be reckoned with. They all have so many different talents, and they're all girls. Most of my kids are girls, but they're all completely different, and they learn in totally different ways. So currently we are taking a power brain course together as a family, and they are they're slaying it. It is teaching them how to do the periodic table and how to memorize it. They haven't even got to that part of their life yet. They already have this stuff memorized. And they're helping me figure out ways for us to remember this.
Yeah.
I should know this from back in school. How much of the periodic table do you remember? What? And it's just so interesting and surprising to me how smart kids are.
Yeah.
We take them for granted. I think the sooner we start teaching them the important stuff in life, the better off they will be. They will be more productive individuals, and they can actually make a difference. They don't have to be a burden. They will actually make good, sound decisions and help us out in the long run. And so I'm building generational wealth here and breaking generational curses, because I was always raised and taught that you go to work, you go to school, you go to work, you go to school, you go to work. I was never taught that you go to school, you save, you pay yourself first. I mean, we heard it, but did we really know what that meant? But you never pay yourself first. I don't even care if you tell yourself you pay yourself first, because we don't own anything. We are not owners.
Yeah.
We help those people pay themselves first, but we are never at the forefront of that. So I was like, it's got to start somewhere.
There's so much packed in there that you said. So first I want you to talk about how people find that power brain course that you mentioned, because I think it'll help so many different people and their children. So talk about that first.
So the brain course is through a guy named Jim Quick, he was considered a child. When he was young, he got into an accident, and they used to call him the child with a broken brain because he couldn't learn. So it's Jim Quick. If you look up Mind Valley, and that course is there. So you can take that as a family or as an individual. I mean, they offer so many different things, and so it's definitely something I'm passing down through the ranks of my family as soon as we finish it. It's a 30-day course, and it's just like 15-20-minute segments a day, because most people don't have enough time to do anything longer than that. So that will get the job done. It'll actually show you how you can actually do better in anything that you want to do. And this is why I have us doing it, because these are my business partners. These are my wives. And so I need them to know everything that's going on. They are the base of my business. And when I go, they're running it. She knows her role. She knows her role. She knows her role. And I need them to know it full-fledged. And so we're taking it slow, one day at a time. Whatever I learn, I'll make sure they learn. They catch on faster than I do. But,
of course.
That's what I need.
Yeah. But listen, the speed at which, children learn is so much different than adults. And they absorb everything and they retain it all too a lot faster than we do. So I love that you talked about, and listen, everybody, we're not out here to promote Mind Valley. We're not paid by Mind Valley, but I love what they do. I absolutely love what they do and what they stand for. And I know, part of that started behind the teachings of Joseph de Silva, right?
Yep.
The power of being able to change your mind. But I love what they do. And I love that because I've looked at them too. I love that they do these quick videos, like get it quick.
Yes.
So that you're not because the traditional way of learning, right? The school system, like right now, my son is in high school and their classes are an hour and a half long.
Right.
Well, what 15, 16, 17-year-old old children, right, want to really learn an hour and a half long? You lose the attention. Most people's attention span, kids and adults for that matter, is not that long when it comes to periods of time. So I love that they do what they do. And I love that you are incorporating that with your family and starting that at home to change the trajectory of your family first. And then I can see, like, while you're doing this, right, you'll be taking that out into the world. So absolutely amazing. We've got somebody commenting out here. We've got Charles Smith on here. He said they are old souls and come on this side of the veil to change the paradigm. Yes, they do.
Yes.
And listen, leave it to Mr. Charles Smith to always bring us something so profound and so meaningful. We thank you so much, Charles, for joining. And I don't want to miss your children. Is that your daughter here?
That's my daughter-in-law. That's my son's girlfriend.
Okay.
So they're all watching from the Dallas Metroplex. Shout out to my other kids.
I love it. So I did not want to not mention them as well. We thank you for joining us here on the show. So we're going to take a quick commercial, but I want everybody to make sure that you stay tuned here because, as you can see, this powerhouse woman, Chiquita Lemons, is here to help educate us on how to change our lives and how to start within your family. And the best way to do something is what she's doing it from experience with inside her own home and her own children. And I absolutely love that. So do not go anywhere because we will be right back.
Yes.
People when they're trying to really get focused and productive to ignore the hey bros because they're low priority. Get your motivation, create your checklist, and then that's the formula, man.
Hello, everybody, and we are back from the break. And if you are just joining us, we are joined by Chiquita Lemons of SLAP, which means Starting Legacies and Progressing Those That Matter. And if you missed the first half, you want to go back, tune in, and hear how she started SLAP and why and what it really means, even though it has that meaning that I mentioned, and I'm going to bring her back in here. But even though it has the meaning that I mentioned, it all started with her family. So we have been talking about, changing lives and changing the trajectory of lives. And she mentioned that she's going to be starting a school where she is teaching education that you will not get in the traditional education system, but education that's going to allow you to progress your family, to live wealthy. And we're not just talking about money, but to be able to really live truly successful, wealthy, healthy lives. So I absolutely love that. I thank you so much for being here. I'm going to say again, she's a powerhouse, and you can see her. She's managing her 3 little ones here and still just bringing it in. bringing it in, giving you all the nuggets and the juice that you need in order to help change your life. So we ended off the first part of the show before we went to commercial break, talking about some of the things that she's already doing and how she's building this legacy within inside her own home and why that's so important, and the things that she's doing to help change the mindset first of her kids and give the education that they really need. And we talked about short spurts too, instead of, following the traditional model that the school systems take. So I just thank you for being here. I absolutely love what you do. So talk to us about, what's to come with Chiquita. I know you mentioned the school, but what else? I know you got more.
There's so much to come. There's books in the future. There's a lot. I mean, I have a lot here. My girls are my smaller crew, because I can't forget about my older two. They're doing their stuff as well. Royale, Sojay, Lakina are working on song. Lakina, as she stated, she's the dancer. They also have a YouTube channel. I mean, we're gonna do a lot. I'm working on a book, working on school, working on a book. We're gonna be tapping into so many different things. Not to mention, I'm a philanthropist. That's my goal in life. But so I'm definitely working on my funding for this philanthropy desire that I have, because it's burning inside of me. I'm just working on getting my funding so I can be part of the elite philanthropist group, and this way I can give. My intention is from the schooling. I want to teach these people how to build wealth on their own, how to become owners of their homes, how to pay it off within 7 years versus this 30-year mortgage. I just want to teach our people how to do so many different things. So right now, SLAPTTM is probably most of you are hearing about it for the first time. I promise you, this will not be the last time. This is going to be a household brand before you know it. And it's going to start this summer when we start doing stuff in downtown Boston area. I will also be doing stuff in Texas. And you just never know. Just SLAPTTM worldwide.
Yes. And so talk to us a little bit about what that philanthropy portion looks like as well.
So for me, the prospects from that, my intention with my philanthropy is I first want to target the homeless and the foster children who've aged out of the system. Hold on a second.
Okay, no worries. No worries at all. And you see, guys, that's a true mom, right? She's like, let me just mute myself and say what I have to say.
So with that, I'm looking at, I want to find a way to house these individuals, but different from traditional housing. I want it to be some type of transitional housing to where they can come get the tidbits. I can have different entrepreneurs who teach different things to show them how to come out of whatever situation they're in. And at the same time, we want to give them what they need to start buying a home. Give them the tools, teach them what they need to do, kind of set them up on budgets and things of that nature, so they know how to progress from there.
Yeah.
If you go amongst the homeless, the age range is about 18. Some are younger, on up to 60s.
Yeah.
And when you ask them why they are homeless, some of them made bad decisions. Sometimes it was drugs, whatever the case it may be. I want to have a different program for each set of generational issues and have the counseling and everything that they need to come out of that, teach them what they need to do to prevent it going forward, and help them do it.
Yeah.
And without all the red tape and paperwork to say you gotta do this, that, and the other. And the only way I can do that is to have my own money.
Yeah.
That's where my philanthropy coming in.
Yeah.
And that's why I have to do so much so I can raise the capital that I need to help those that need my help.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So, I want to take it back a little bit. Normally I start the show off this way, but I couldn't. I had to start off with SLAP because I just wanted to kind of impress upon that. But, what's your story? What's your why for all of this?
Oh, my why. Whew. My why is my kids. When I tell my children are the epitome of joy, happiness, kindness. They are the wind beneath my wings. They have carried me through so much that I can't help but to make sure that I leave something for them so that they know that their living was not in vain.
Yeah.
My children are my best friends, to say the least. Whenever I have a problem, I can talk to them. They can't judge me because they're not old enough. They don't have these preconditions, or they don't have any thoughts or ideas of how this should be, or you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this. They just go with the flow. They know when I'm hurting before anybody else. I don't have to come in and say anything. They just know.
Yeah.
They always ask, how was work? How did you do? What did you do today? No matter what. That's just how they are. And these kids, I love them. But my first two, they went through hell and high water for me trying to figure out who I was, all of my bad decisions, and my previous marriage. So for them, they are the reason, the first two are the reason I had to find a way to do something different for the last three.
I love it.
What they went through and what children go through in households that are dysfunctional, it's, to say the least, ridiculous. And I had to be the one to stop the generational curse of poverty and workaholicism, because that's what I suffered from. And that's all I knew, though, is to go to work. And most of the time, and I'm sure that I'm not the only person in the world who goes to work to escape from being at home.
Right.
I would much rather go to work than to go home. So what do? Work all day and don't have anything to show for it. I didn't have a business. I barely had a car. I was on the bus most of the time. If I wasn't on the bus, I was walking or on a bike. So that's ridiculous. When I look back at my life, I'm like, what was I doing? And I've always had a decent paying job. But because I didn't have the tools to succeed in life, I didn't know what to do with the money that I had. And the mate that I had at that time, that was a problem.
Well, I'm so grateful that you have released those things and was able to turn things around to break the curses that you mentioned, right? We all have them. It's just a matter of recognizing what they are and then
Yes.
being very intentional about going out and seeking the wisdom, the knowledge, the emotional support, everything to make the changes, right?
Yes.
So I love that you've done that. And you talked about, your children being in tune with you. I was at a speaking event over the course of the weekend, and my coach was there, and who is actually the owner of this network, but he was also talking about, when your kids can feel things, he's like, just think about it this way. At one time you were one.
Yep.
So why wouldn't you expect your kids to feel, when there's something going on with you?
Yes.
So I was like, he was like, and then the same thing goes for you with your own parent, right? You were one with your own mother. So I love that. And, you just put that into context in that way. It's like, okay, yes. Why wouldn't they have that emotional tie, to everything that we go through? But I love your why. I love that you recognize that you need to change it. And I love what you're doing to change it for, the 3 babies that you have now, to make sure that, they're living their best life. My son was asking me one day about accounting, and accounting was something that I've done for years in the corporate sector, right? And he said, though, he looked at me and he's like, Mommy, is it very stressful? I'm like, yeah, you already know, because he's already seen me go through that. And as I go through things with my mentor, I have him listening, right? I'm like, here's the notebook with all the notes in it for him to go through, because I don't want him to live the life that I lived, right?
Right.
Break those cycles. So
Yes.
I love what you're doing. So if you had to give people, last words out here in order for them to change their life, I'm going to ask you, where would you tell them to start?
I would say look in the mirror. Because if you look at you and you're ready to change, then you will. Because I can tell you to start with affirmations, but if you're not ready, then you won't. So you have to take a long look at yourself. Look at the current situation that you're in and ask yourself, is this the best me? Is this where I want to be in the next 5 years? What can I do to change this situation? And once you do that and you mean it, then you can go for affirmations. Start with just listening to somebody motivational. You can audible books. You can just go online. We have so much information available to us now. There's no reason for anyone to have any ailments and not do anything about it.
That's
you
right.
just have to make up in your mind that you want a change. Then go for the change.
That's
you just
right.
got to do it.
And I love that, to decide, like make a choice, right? Choose and decide, and then take action on it, and go out there and invest in yourself, seek the tools that you need. I love everything about what you're saying.
You just got to break up with fear. Fear keeps us all stuck.
Yeah.
Because we're afraid of being the best us. I've never seen a generation of minorities so stuck because they're afraid to change for the better. It's like, it's crazy. We are afraid of success.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
That is the bottom line. And just get educated to know better. But we had a young woman on, and you were on there, and thank you for engaging in the show last night. But she said,
Film talk. I like film talk.
Yes. And the young woman on there said, I stopped being afraid of myself.
Yes.
What? When she said that, my mind was like, but I love that. And that's the same thing that you're saying now, basically, is like, we got to stop being afraid of being successful, which is, being afraid of your own, gifts, talents, and greatness, right?
We came in this world as royalty. We come from it, and we are so afraid to just touch it. It's crazy. I don't understand.
Yeah, I so agree. So
of all things to be afraid of, we are afraid to succeed.
Yes. And before we end the show, I just want to make sure that we share your information. So if anybody out there, you are looking to connect with Chiquita, you want to make sure that you can email her at slapttmllc@gmail.com. Again, that's slapttmllc@gmail.com. You can find her on most social media channels: Facebook, Chiquita Lemons, YouTube at Chiquita Lemons, and IG Chiquita Lemons. So you can find her on all 3 of those platforms. And if you are looking to help get your mind right, get your spirit right, get yourself together, you can also listen to her podcast. I'm going to put this link in the comments on the show, right under the show on our Facebook show page. So you can click that and you can go listen to her on Spotify. I told you she is an absolute powerhouse. So you want to make sure that you tune in to her podcast. Unfortunately, I just want to put this comment up there too, because Charles said, become the change agent of self. Great concept. Yeah. Absolutely. So unfortunately, we have to end the show, everybody, but we thank you for joining. We thank you. I thank you so much, Chiquita, for bringing just your wisdom and your heart to the show. I really appreciate you, and I'm so glad that you came on. Again, stay tuned for this powerhouse woman, everybody. She's got so much in the pipeline, and I know that she's going to have it all come to fruition. She has already started with the things that she is doing right now. So you want to make sure that you stay tuned with her, connect with her, and we will have to have you back as things progress and as you are moving along and that other things come into fruition. You got to come back for sure.
Absolutely.
So, yes, absolutely. So we love you, everybody, and we will see you next week right here on The Whole Living Show. Take care.
Yeah.